Okay, 11, these are the solutions to the Mathematics Numeracy paper, Unit 2 calculator, questions 1 to 6, and it's the Wednesday the 8th of November 2017 paper. Okay, so question 1, you're told that some raspberries cost £3.60 per kilogram, pears cost £2.60 per kilogram. Reese buys some raspberries and some pears. Reese weighs the fruit he buys. The raspberries cost him £4.50, so you need to calculate the mass of the raspberries that Reese buys. So basically what you need to do is see how many £3.60s go into £4.50. So I need to work out £4.50 divided by £3.60. This is a calculator paper, so you can use your calculator. I just need to type that straight into my calculator. £4.50 divided by £3.60. And that gives me an answer of 5/4. If I press my SD button, that changes it into a decimal, so that would be 1.25 kilograms. Okay, question B is an OCW question, so you need to watch your spelling. You just set everything out with an explanation for each calculation and make sure you got all your units and your spellings correct. So it says he finds that the mass of the pears is 3 times the mass of the raspberries. How much change does Reese get from £20 when buying the raspberries and the pears? You must show all your workings. So the first thing we need to do is to work out the mass of the pears, and it says that the mass of the pears is 3 times the mass of the raspberries. Well, the mass of the raspberries is £1.25, so the mass of the pears is going to be 3 times as much. So you just need to multiply that by 3. So we need to write down mass of the pears equals 3 times 1.25, which you can work on your calculator, which is 3.75 kilograms. So now we've got the mass of the pears. We need to work out the cost of the pears, and it's £2.60 per kilogram, and I've got 3.75 kilograms. So the cost of the pears is going to be 3.75 times £2.60. I can do my calculator. 3.75 times £2.60, and that gives me an answer of £9.75. Okay, the total cost of the pears and the raspberries is going to be £9.75 plus the £4.50 from part A. So I add that on, £4.50. That gives me £14.25. And then I want to see how much change I've got from £20. So change is going to be 20 take away £14.25, which is going to give me an answer of £5.75 change. Question 2, the head teacher of a school gave option forms to Year 9 pupils. The form asks which foreign languages the pupils would like to study in Year 10. There are 4 languages, French, German, Spanish and Mandarin. The pupils could select as many of the languages as they wished. All pupils completed and returned the option form, and the head teacher has made a Venn diagram of all this information here. So we've got Mandarin in this circle, Spanish in this one, French in this one and German in this one. Part A says, how many pupils did not select at least one of the 4 languages? So that basically means anything outside the 4 circles, which is 0. Part B, how many pupils are there in Year 9? Circle your answer. So the number of pupils in Year 9 are basically going to be all the pupils that he has asked there. So you basically just got to add all these numbers up. So we've got 14 plus 7 is 21, plus 1 is 22, 25, 33, 38, 65, 67, 89, plus 7, and that comes to 96. How many pupils selected only one language? So that would be, if they've only selected one language, it would be this one. So you've got 14 that just selected German. You've got 1 that just selected French. You've got 2 that just selected Spanish, and you've got 7 that just selected Mandarin, and if we just add those together, it's 15, 17 plus 7 is 24. Okay, part B, which was the most popular language selected? So to work that out, I'm going to leave that page there so we can see it. I need to add up all the numbers in Mandarin, Spanish, French and German and see which is the most. So for Mandarin, I've got 7 plus 8 plus 3 plus 5 plus 0 plus 22. So 8 plus 7 plus 3 plus 5 plus 22. That comes to 15, 18, 23, 45. German is going to be 14 plus 7 plus 3 plus 8. So that comes to 21, 24, 32. French is going to be 3 plus 7 plus 1 plus 27 plus 5. So that comes to 11, 38, 43. And then the last one, Spanish, you've got 22 plus 27 plus 2, which comes to 51. So the most popular is going to be Spanish because it's got the biggest number. Okay, part E, the head teacher can offer only 2 out of the 4 languages in year 10. She writes the timetable so that as many as possible of the pupils who chose 2 languages are able to study those 2 languages. Which 2 languages will the head teacher offer in year 10? You must show your work and give a reason. So basically, if they've only chosen 2 languages, it's going to be this one here where you've got Mandarin and German, which is 8, or this one here, which is German and French, this one here, which would be French and Spanish, and Mandarin and Spanish here, which would be that one. So if we just write those combinations down, I'll try and leave that on there so you can see what's going on. So we've got German and French, which is that sector there, which is 7. We've got French and Spanish, which is that area there. Then we've got Mandarin and Spanish, which is that area there, which is 22. And then the last one is Mandarin and German, which is that one there. So it says, which 2 languages should the teacher show and give a reason for your answer? It's going to be French and Spanish. Because that was the most popular choice. Okay. Question 3. Lloyd has carried out a survey in his school. He surveyed 300 pupils. Below is a section from his questionnaire. So you've got question 1, which year group you're in. Question 2, do you like the colours of the school uniform? Question 3, what is your favourite colour? And then part A says, afterwards, Lloyd thinks he should have given option boxes in question 1 and 2. What could these option boxes be? Well, question 1, which year group are you in? He could have just simply given some boxes for each year. So you could have had year 7, year 8, year 9, year 10, and year 11. Question 2, do you like the colours of the school uniform? So that's just a straightforward yes or no. So you could have put 2 boxes in, one was yes, one was no. Okay, part B. you've got a pie chart displaying the results from question 3 of the questionnaire. It's part 1 says, which colour was chosen by 75 pupils as their favourite colour? So this survey has been carried out for 300 pupils and 75 of them chose this colour. So what you've got there really is 75 over 300, which actually, if you could use your calculator for that, but you should be able to spot there's a quarter. If I did 75 over 300, your calculator will actually simplify that fraction to a quarter. So which sector on the pie chart there is a quarter? Well, you can see that a quarter would be black, so I need to circle black there. Okay, part 2 says, what fraction of the pupils said that blue was their favourite colour? Give your answer in its simplest form. So I've just put the pie chart back up here. So this is blue, this section here. What you need to do is to work out what that angle is. So then you can work out what fraction it is of the whole circle. So if I put my protractor with a centre in the middle, put 0 on one of the lines, and if I count up from 0 until I get around to the next line, I'm going 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So blue, that angle there is actually 60 degrees. So going back to the question, it says what fraction of the pie chart is the colour blue? Well, that's an angle of 60. We know that angles in a pie chart add up to 360. So it's 60 360ths. And we need to simplify that to get my extra mark. And you can do that using your calculator. So if I just put in 60 over 360, just press equals, your calculator will simplify that for you, and it is actually 1/6. Okay, and number 4, what is 3 hours 12 minutes in hours? Well, you should remember the time key on your calculator, which you can use for this one. So if I want to put in 3 hours and 12 minutes, I press 3, press that button for hours, 12 minutes. And if I press equals, it comes up 3 hours 12 minutes and 0 seconds. But if I press the SD button, it will actually change that into a decimal, a fraction first. If I press it again, it changes into a decimal, and I can see that that is 3.2. So now I can circle 3.2 hours. Okay, part B, the first 40 miles of a journey took 1 hour 15 minutes. The remaining 80 miles were completed in 2 hours 15 minutes. Calculate the average speed. So you should know that average speed is equal to total distance divided by total time. The total distance is 40 miles plus 80 miles, so it's 120. And the total time is 1 hour 15 plus 2 hours 15, which is 3 hours 30 minutes, but you don't write 3.3 or 3 hours 30 minutes there. You need to write it down as a decimal. If you're not sure, you can always add those times for you, and your calculator will work it out for you. So if I was going to do 1 hour 15 minutes plus 2 hours 15 minutes, press equals. So that tells me that it's 3 hours 30 minutes. So again, to change that into a decimal, press my SD button twice, and that's now converted it into a decimal for me, which is 3.5. So I need to be dividing by 3.5. So in my calculator now, I'm just going to do 120 divided by 3.5, and that will give me an answer 240 over 7. So I press my SD button, that gives me it as a decimal, so it's going to be 34 point, I'm going to give it to 1 decimal place, so it's 34.3, and that would be miles per hour, because the distance is in miles and the time is in hours. Okay, question 5. A newspaper report claimed the following: 12% of the world's population is left-handed, twice as many men as women are left-handed, 30% of the population is mixed-handed. Mixed-handed people prefer to use the left hand for some tasks and the right for others. It's very rare to be ambidextrous, that is being able to do all tasks equally well with either hand. And then it gives you some information. In 2011, Wales had a population of 3,063,000. In 2014, Wales had a population of 3,092,000. And now we've got some questions on that information. So, part A, calculate the number of left-handed people living in Wales in 2011. So, the number of, there's 12% of the world population is left-handed. So, we're assuming, and this is what you need to write down in part A, that is going to be the same for Wales, because that's 12% of the world population, but we're going to use that figure to calculate 12% of the number of people in Wales. So we're assuming that the percentage of people in Wales is the same as the world population. So that's the assumption for this bit here. So we've got to find 12%. So 12% of the number of people in Wales, which is 3,063,000. And you can either do 12 divided by 100 times by 3,063,000, or the word of actually means times, so we can put that into our calculator like that using the percent key. So we could do 12, can't find my percent key on this new calculator, so it's shift answer gives you 12%, then you times it by 3063000, and that gives me an answer of 367,560. So 367,560 people you would expect to be left-handed in Wales. What assumption have you made? Well, that is that the number of left-handed people, or the percentage of left-handed people in the world, is the same as Wales. So your assumption you've made is the percentage of left-handed people in Wales is the same as the percentage of people in the world population there. Okay, part B, in 2011 Wales had a population of 3,063,000 and 1,559,000 of these were women. In 2011, what percentage of the population of Wales were men? So we can work out what the percentage population of women is, and then take that away from 100, that will give us the percentage of men. So if we want to write one number as a percentage of another, I've got to do 1559000 divided by the total 3063000, and I've got to times that by 100 to change it into a percentage. So I just put that in my calculator, 1559000 divided by 3063000, and times it by 100. And that gives me 50.9, because it says to give it to one decimal place. So I'm going to round it after one decimal place, and because it's a 9, it's going to round that 8 up 1. Okay, so that's the percentage of women. Percentage of men is going to be 100%, take away 50.9, which is going to give me 49.1%. Question C, it says, how many mixed-handed people do you think were living in Wales in 2014, sorry. You must show your workings and give your answer to the nearest 1,000. So if we go back to the information a minute, just to look at that, it says that 30% of the world population is mixed-handed. So we've got to find 30% of the population in 2014. So we've got to do 30% of population in 2014, which is 3,092,000. So again, of means times. I can just put that into my calculator. 30 shift answer key will give me my percent, and I'm timesing by 3092000. Press equals, and that comes to 927600. But it does say, give your answer to the nearest thousand. So we're rounding it at this point here because this is my thousands column. And because that's a 6, it means it's going to round up. So it's going to be 928000. Okay, last question. A country of 6 million people meets all the claims given in the newspaper report. 8% of the women in the country are left-handed. There are 3 million men living in the country. How many left-handed men would you expect there to be in this country? So, if you look at, again, this information here, it says twice as many men as women are left-handed. So if we can find the number of left-handed women, all we need to do is double it to get the number of men. So if we look at this information, it says 3 million of the men are living in this country, and there's 6 million altogether. So that means there's 3 million women. So if I find 8% of 3 million, that's going to give me the number of left-handed women. So number of left-handed women is going to be 8% of 3 million. And again, we can work that out using my percent key. So 8 shift answer, 8% of, so of means times 3 million, 123, 123, 6 noughts. That gives me 240,000. So that's the number of left-handed women. And then going back to the information, it says twice as many men as women are left-handed. So you've just got to double that to get the number of left-handed men. So 240,000 times by 2 gives me 480,000. Okay, last question. Question 6. It's asking us to calculate an estimate for the mean daily snowfall for the 31 days of January. It's an estimate because all we know is that 10 of these days had snow between 0 to 5. We don't know exactly what they were. So what we've got to do is assume that each of those 10 days takes on the middle value and make an estimate from that. So it's a good idea to actually add an extra column. And that's going to be your midpoint times your frequency. This is your frequency column here. So your midpoint, basically, if you add your boundaries up in half it, so 0 plus 5 is 5, half of that would be 2.5. So your midpoint is going to be 2.5 times 10, because that's your frequency. Midpoint, this one is going to be 7.5 times 16. This one is going to be 15 times 4. Midpoint of that one is 25 times 0, and the midpoint of that one is 40 times 1. And we just need to work those out. So that's going to be 25. 7.5 times 16 gives me 120. 15 times 4 is 60. 25 times 0 is 0. 40 times 1 is 40. And then what I need to do then is add those up to get the total amount of snowfall altogether. So 25 plus 120 is 145, that's 205, that's 245. So the mean, the estimate of the mean, is going to be your total, 245, divided by the total number of days, which is this column added up, but we already know that that's going to be 31. And then we can work that out. So 245 divided by 31, and that gives me an answer of 7.9 centimeters to 1 decimal place. Okay. Part B says circle true or false for each of the following statements. The table above shows that there definitely was snowfall on each of these 31 days in January. So is that true or false? Well, that's going to be false, because in each of these 10 days, all you know is that there was snowfall from 0 up to, but not including 5. So on each of those 10 days, there could have actually been no snow at all. So it doesn't, so you know, it says the table above shows that definitely there was snowfall on each of these 31 days. But there could have been one of these days, or 2, or even 10 of them where there was no snowfall at all. So that one's going to be false. There were 16 days when the daily snowfall was less than 10 centimetres. Well, here's 10 centimetres here. So it says less than 10 centimetres. Well, we've got 16 days between 5 and 10. But we've also got another 10 days between 0 and 5. So there's actually 26 days less than 10 centimetres. So that one is also false. There was only one day with snowfall greater than or equal to 20 centimetres. So 20 centimetres is here. And between 20 and 30 we only had we had no days of snow. And between 30 and 50 we only had 1. So that is actually true. Because from 20 to 50 there was only actually 1 day where we had snowfall greater than or equal to 20 centimetres. So that one's true. And then the last one is the modal group also contains the median. Well, the modal group is the most common group. So this is the most common, this one here. And the median is the middle value. So if you've got 31 days, the middle value is actually going to be the 16th day. Or you can think that if you half that is 15.5 and round it up, that would give me the 16th day. So the 16th day, well, first 10 days would be here, and the 11th to the 26th day would actually be in this one. So the 16th day does actually fall in there, so that is actually true. Okay, last question, and this is quite a tough one. For the 28 days of February, the mean daily snowfall in Alptai was 9 centimetres. On the 1st of February, the snowfall recorded in Alptai was 63. Calculate the mean daily snowfall then for the 27-day period from the 2nd to the 28th of February. So we could get the total snowfall for February, for the whole of February, for 28 days, because we've got 20 days and the mean was 9 centimetres. So that means on average there was 9 centimetres per day. So the total would be 28 times 9. So that would give me the total amount of snowfall in February, which is 252 centimetres. But it tells me that on the 1st of February, there was snow of 63 centimetres. So the total snowfall from the 2nd of Feb to the 28th of Feb is going to be 252. Take away the first day with 63. And that gives me an answer of 189 centimetres. So the total snowfall from 2nd to the 28th was 189 centimetres. So to work out the mean is the total snowfall, which we just worked out to be 189, divided by the number of days. So that's now going to be a 27-day period. So we divide by 27, and if I work that out, that gives me an answer of 7 centimetres. And that's your questions 1 to 6.